This episode is brought to you by Credit Karma. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve, helping you monitor your progress and giving you personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals. Make sure you're on the right track, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on. Download today.
New Year, same extra value meals at Macdonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
So here's the locker room reality check. Losing players are already visualizing. They're replaying failure. So if you don't intentionally give them something else to see, their past will fill the space. Visualization isn't adding something new, it's replacing what's already there. I want to start this episode with a story that's gone viral. It's April 8th of 2024. First-year head coach walks into his first team meeting with the Seattle Seahawks. No playbook, install, no depth chart. That matters because players walk into that first meeting expecting structure. They expect rules. They expect, here's how it's going to be. And instead, he asks the room to close their eyes. And he takes them forward, not to training camp, not to week 1, all the way to January. The NFC Championship game at Lumen Field. Cold, wet, windy. He tells them it's miserable for the other team, but for us, just right. He describes the locker room, the calm, the confidence, the inevitability. 11 guys playing as one. Then he opens their eyes and says, so let's go to work. Fast forward to January of 2026, and that exact scene is real. It's the same building, similar conditions as he described, and the same outcome. The players later say that was a goal we talked about in the first meeting. So it wasn't luck or hype. It wasn't a motivational speech. That was a coach deliberately shaping how players would see themselves long before pressure ever showed up. And that's what this episode is about.
All right, listen up, nacho chips. Quiet down, crispy potatoes. This is the moment Velveeta's been preparing you for, and you're not about to crack under pressure. Today's the day to go all in on the drip. Velveeta's Heat and Eat Queso is the MVP of any game day spread, so stick by them, and you'll be golden. Now get out there and make delicious history. No tailgate party is complete without Velveeta.
Visualization gets a bad reputation in a lot of sports circles, and honestly, that's earned. Most teams try it once, the coaches keep it vague, and most tie it only to winning, and they say things like picture success or see yourself winning, and truthfully, that's useless. Visualization fails when it's abstract instead of specific, emotional instead of behavioral, and it's a one-time speech instead of a repeated picture. That's not visualization, that's hope that we dress up as leadership. Real visualization doesn't ignore reality, it filters reality. So here's what it actually does. Every player is constantly interpreting information, like a bad rep or a missed tackle or a loud crowd mistake early in the game. They don't respond to reality, they respond to how they interpret reality. So if mistakes feel loud, confidence shrinks. And if success feels familiar, decisions speed up. Visualization shapes their interpretation. So let's get into the science. And here's the cleanest way to explain this without turning it into a psychology lecture. Your brain can't process everything happening around you. It has to filter. So the filter determines what you notice, what you ignore, what feels threatening, what feels manageable. And once something becomes important, your brain starts highlighting it everywhere. So here's a simple example. You buy a new truck. Maybe you hadn't noticed that model much before. All of a sudden, you see it everywhere. The same truck, same color, same trim. That truck didn't magically appear overnight. It was always there. Your brain just decided this matters now. And that's what's called the reticular activating system, the RAS. And once the RAS flags something as important, you experience what's called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. It feels like it's suddenly everywhere. Now take that exact mechanism and put it in your locker room. If a player's worried about a mistake, his RAS highlighted every bad rep. Every error feels heavier. If a team believes they can't finish games, late game moments start to feel faster and more chaotic. But when you intentionally shape what players visualize, who they are, and how they respond, the RAS starts highlighting solutions instead of threats. And there's a deeper layer into this called psycho-cybernetics. This is where I want to go deeper, not to overload you, but to give you more of a framework. So years ago, a surgeon named Maxwell Maltz wrote a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, and he noticed something strange. He could physically change someone's face, but their life often didn't change. They had the same behaviors, the same confidence issues, and the same limits. He was a plastic surgeon, and he realized this. People don't act based on circumstances, they act based on self-image. And Maltz described the brain as an automatic goal-seeking mechanism. Your conscious mind sets the target. Your subconscious mind handles the adjustments. That system does not judge goals, and it doesn't judge if they're realistic. It just works towards whatever picture it's given. So if the picture is we panic late, the system works toward that. If the picture is we're calm, connected, and built for this, the system works towards that. And if the picture is unclear, the system defaults to past experience. That's why losing teams replay failure under pressure, even when they're talented. Visualization matters because it updates the picture the system is working with. So let's look at this from a quarterback perspective. Think about this. A quarterback drops back. He's not consciously telling his eyes where to go on every step. If he had to do that, he'd be late on every throw. I saw this at a camp with Dub Maddox in R4. Instead, he's given a picture, pre-snap indicators, post-snap confirmation, where the answer is if the safeties rotate, because the picture is clear and his brain makes automatic adjustments. Now imagine a quarterback who's never been shown what clean looks like. The pocket feels faster, his eyes get stuck, everything feels like pressure. That's not toughness, that's a picture problem. And visualization gives players recognition before reaction. That's why great teams look calm under pressure. They've already been there mentally.
So what do you want?
What do I want? I want to use my degree for good, and in general.
I kind of meant like a muffin or a latte.
I want a job with a generous work-from-grocery-store policy.
You are here a lot.
Debbie, please, I'm working.
I want a job that will change the world.
Ma'am, this is a drive-thru.
And some nuggets.
With LinkedIn's new AI-powered job search, you can find roles that match your unique skills, so you can dare to discover more. Visit linkedin.com/jobs to learn more.
So let's look at the Seahawks story again, and it's why this mattered so much. Coach Macdonald didn't start with scheme or accountability. He started with their identity under pressure. He gave their nervous system a reference point. When chaos arrived 2 years later, their brains were already there. So it's not magic, it's preparation. Got a great example we've had on the podcast before, Andrew DiDonato. He took over a Division III program at Grove City that hadn't won in years, and eventually they were 0-30. But in his first meeting, same thing. No scheme, no promise of quick success. He repeated one vision statement for 5 minutes straight. Now they went 0-10 again, but the vision didn't change the scoreboard immediately. It changed their decision-making. And it became a filter for recruiting, for staffing, schemes, standards. Even seniors who knew they'd never benefit still showed up saying they were competing for championship. Even seniors who knew they'd never benefit still showed up saying they were competing for championships. Years later, that program went undefeated and won the conference championship. Vision didn't remove struggle, it gave the struggle meaning. So here's the locker room reality check, and it's something we don't recognize enough. Losing players are already visualizing. They're replaying failure. So if you don't intentionally give them something else to see, their past will fill the space. Visualization isn't adding something new, it's replacing what's already there. And this is something for me that's been true in my experience. It isn't theory. It's something that my dad, who coached football and basketball in high school, talked about all the time, long before it was popular. And somewhere around junior high, he did hand me a copy of Psycho-Cybernetics. And I used it as an athlete. Now I can say maybe my understanding wasn't as great, but I saw the importance of it. And I carried it into coaching. As a position coach, I'd walk my players through short visualization periods on game day. Later, as a head coach, it went further. In 2004, I think a great example of this, it reminds me of, Coach DiDonato setting the vision or Coach Macdonald setting the vision. Our expectations were average. We were a 6-4 type program. I was a young head coach. There was certainly plenty of skepticism in me taking over the team. In the first full practice in August, I put the team in a circle about 10 steps away. I had to eyeball it. And I walked them through the season. Week 1, the opponent, the environment, if they were up for it, stepped forward. And week by week, it was always positive, never revenge, never negative framing. And by the time I was finished with our rival, who was coming up in week 10, everyone was standing in the center. And you could see it in their eyes. It wasn't hype. It wasn't just motivation. It was alignment. And that team shattered expectations and made history. We set all kinds of records. We were one of the best teams on defense in county history. And we went 9-0 the second time in school history and won our first home playoff game as a program. So looking back, it wasn't predicting the outcome. I was helping them shape identity. The rule that mattered most was keeping negativity out. Visualization only works when it reinforces who you are and not what you fear. So I want to give you just a simple game plan, something you can start today. Step 1, decide the picture. What do you want your players to see when pressure shows up? Step 2, start it small. This could be with your position group. It could be in a unit meeting. It could be the team meeting, but just 60 to 90 seconds. Paint the picture for them. Be detailed like Coach Macdonald was and repeat it. The same picture, the same language once a week. Step 4, protect the picture. Your words either reinforce it or erase it. So if you're going through practice and you're using negative words, you're destroying that visualization that you set here. So you want to reinforce it. Always be positive with your players. Doesn't mean you can't coach them hard, but make sure that mentality is positive for them. Step 5, let the system work. Set the target and trust the preparation. So visualization isn't about predicting wins. It's about deciding who you are before the game forces the question. If your players don't know what success looks like, they'll default to what failure feels like. And that's not mindset talk, it's preparation. Great coaches don't just call plays, they shape how players see themselves walking onto the field. And you get them to do that, that's true leadership, and it will make a difference. Even if it takes a couple years like Coach Macdonald or a whole nother season like Coach DiDonato. But set the tone for how they do things. Give them that visualization that fills their mind and helps them look for those patterns. They're either going to see the positive or the negative, and really, that's something you can shape as a coach. Be sure to access the Coach and Coordinator AI Vision Setting Companion that goes along with this episode. This companion helps you apply the principles from the episode to your own context. It's built entirely from the conversation you just heard, including real examples from the Seahawks, Division III, and high school football, and is designed to help you think clearly about vision, identity, and preparation under pressure. When you open the companion, it will prompt you to reflect on your role, your level, and group, whether that's a position room, a unit, or an entire team, and help you translate vision setting and visualization into practical leadership decisions. This tool does not design plays, write speeches, or offer generic motivation. It helps you clarify the picture you're giving your players and whether your language and habits reinforce or undermine it. You can access the Vision Setting Companion at coachandcoordinator.com or through the link in the description.
Hi, it's Victor Hedman from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Hedman with a drive, score!
The NHL Stadium Series is coming to the Sunshine State. Watch as we take on the Boston Bruins in the 2026 NHL Stadium Series in Tampa. Catch all the action on Sunday, February 1st on ESPN. Visit NHL.com/Stadium Series for tickets and more information. That's NHL.com/Stadium Series, and I'll see you February 1st.